Oscar Wolfgang.
I don't know what this means. You've said it to me multiple times now, and I'm still confused.
Wolfgang, woof woof.
Okay.
Yeah, Wolfgang, woof woof.
Yeah.
Wolfgang, woof woof, Tom.
Well, woof.
Yeah, that's
woof.
right. So I say Wolfgang, you say woof woof. Wolfgang.
Woof.
There's 2 woofs, Tom. There's 2 woofs. Jeez. Okay, here's the deal.
Okay.
So Jeanette and I have been watching this show.
Oh, my Lord. Is it called Kingdom?
It's called Kingdom. How did you know? What? How did you know? Yes, it's called Kingdom.
I'm translucent. Clairvoyant.
Oh my God. Okay, so wow, I clipped the mic on that laugh. Okay, anyway. So here's the deal, right? Okay.
Tell me.
Okay. So we're watching Kingdom, and we figured it's going to be an uneventful week for us because Stray Kids already did their performance last week. So we just get to relax. We get to enjoy the other people. We get to see the results of the expert evaluations. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. We like some of the groups, the other groups that are performing, all of that stuff. So it'll be good. We'll have a good time. And then they go, oh, by the way, for the last performance, which is going to be live, they're going to perform live and then take votes live. Before that performance happens, all of the groups are recording a brand new song, and then they're going to all release them at the same time. And based on the amount of streams they get on Apple Music worldwide, will contribute to like points that they get in the show. So, of course, naturally, we just all went insane. I'll tell you a little bit about that update, too. But went insane, and so we've been streaming basically like playlists of Stray Kids with various songs, and then Wolfgang, and then like 2 songs, and then Wolfgang, and then 2 songs, and then Wolfgang. So like, and the thing
Wolfgang
is,
the song.
Wolfgang
the name of the
Stray
song?
Kids' song. Yeah, that's the song that
the one that needs the views or the
one that needs the streams. Yeah, from Stray Kids. Yeah. It's the one, and I think there's like 1 day left, and people are still streaming. Also, there's like some weird drama that just came out, which is interesting in the Stay community. Ooh.
I feel like you should have told me about this Wolfgang thing so that I could have downloaded Apple Music on my phone and, queued it up for a few listens.
Yeah, I had to purposefully keep it from you, though, because I don't want you, because you're going to hear people's voices. And as we just watched... Just now, we just watched episode 4 of the Survival Show, and one of the members got eliminated. So,
indeed, he did.
There's that. So it's I don't want spoilers. I think that the one person, I will stream enough for 2 people. That way you don't have to, and I think that works.
Well, you know what I could, if this ever comes up again, which I don't see why it would, but
it won't, because this is the last episode.
I'm not talking about specifically for Kingdom and for Stray Kids, but like if there's another thing where we're doing something like okay, right. Look, I'm just trying to help you help them. Okay, just hear me out. Yeah, okay, you could have just been like, hey, on your phone, turn the volume down, but turn on the song and put it on repeat, and then just like leave it on a charger, for a few hours, right?
Yeah, but you can't. The way that they calculate listens, you can't just put it on repeat. You have to like put a playlist on, and they also try and like filter some of that, so you have to like change playlists every few hours. So like, I don't know, like there would be a lot more work involved for you. So, I mean, I'm sure you would still do it, but
I could. Just like, I could easily set something up like that.
Yeah.
But, that's bullshit, too, because sometimes I'll be, like, listening to a song, and just before it ends, I will start the same song over again because I want to hear it again.
Yeah, it is bullshit. And I agree. Like, that's how I like to listen to them also. And, the worst part is that the song's really good. So I feel like if you just, like, caught a little of it, you would be like, all right, I'm going to listen to it. I'm just going to listen to it.
Yeah.
It's
maybe.
So good.
Speaking of good, well, first let's roll that intro, and then we'll get into this.
Wakey.
Sweet intro. Ooh, it's hot.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
Just make sure it lines up this time.
I did once.
Yeah.
And then I moved things around, and then it was wrong, and then I fixed it.
Nobody
it's
knows.
Fixed. Nobody knows.
Unless you listen to the original.
No.
Anyway, speaking of good, right?
Yeah.
The songs and the performances from tonight's episode were incredible. I loved all of them. Are they real songs now? Like, are they out?
Like, can you listen to them?
Yeah.
I think they are on the pre-debut album. Let me just check that here.
Yeah. Because that is.
I could be wrong.
Wait, am I allowed to listen to those now?
Yeah, any song that has been released or that we've listened to, you can listen to. I think that's
so. I can listen to Glow. I can listen to School Days or
School
Alarm
Days.
Clock, and I can listen to, what was the other one called? 4419.
Yeah,
and Elevator.
Yeah, right.
Elevator.
It's a good song. I love Elevator.
I'm so critical of it, though.
Mixtape album, Stray Kids. Glow is on it. School Life is on it, and so is 4419. So, yeah. We talked about this earlier, but before starting the podcast, the main podcast, but we went to the K-pop store, and Mixtape was one of the albums that we bought this week. So.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got that song on there. So yeah, it's got Elevator on there. It's got Glow, School Life, and 4419, and then a few other songs that we haven't heard yet. So
okay, yeah. Well, then yeah, like I said, I'm gonna need you to send Anna that link so that she can go ahead and order that.
Yeah,
tuck it away somewhere nicely for when we're done with this, and then we can open those up and see what we get.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be fun.
We're gonna do this. So for anyone that doesn't know, I think we talked about this on the first episode, right? How like when you buy these albums, right? And it's not just I feel like it's not just K-pop. It's not just Stray Kids. I'll tell you that.
Oh no, you
get more than the music, right? It's more than the music that you're getting out of this box, and sometimes it could be random. Like it could be one of a few different items.
The picture cards.
The picture cards.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they do anything else in like other types of sets like that. But
it depends.
So I'm gonna get one. Phil already got one. I'm gonna get one, and then once we're done with the survival show and whatever else we need to be done with to get to that point chronologically in Stray history, right? Stray Kids history is we'll open them up and see what we get. We'll do that on the podcast.
It sounds like a lot of fun, and I think there's the next show that we will be watching kind of overlaps with the debut. So the debut album, and so we may actually need to do get both the debut album and Mixtape at the same time.
Okay.
Because the next episodes that we start watching of the following show would be kind of overlapping with the debut song. So it makes sense to do that. I'll make sure that I have the timeline right so that we can get it all done. But yeah, I mean, still, they're not expensive. The mini albums are not expensive at all. And even the full albums are not that expensive once you enjoy Stray Kids. Because then I had them all in my cart and I was just like, should I buy them? Should I just buy all of these? It's $136. Yeah. Should I buy them all?
Yeah, just get them all now. Might as well.
I mean, when we were at the K-pop store and I was talking to Jeanette about it, I was like, when I look at them all, I just want to buy them all. And she was like, go ahead. And I'm like, yeah, they're more expensive here. So
I see.
I bought the first two albums because I just wanted to have them on hand. But the other ones I'm going to order from this same website. And, if they want us to tell what website we're going to use, well, then they can pay us advertising dollars.
Yeah.
Because they need us to advertise for them. That's how it works.
Right.
Yep. Anyway, so should we we talked a little bit about Kingdom, and there's drama happening right now, like as we speak, that I'm gonna have to follow up on. But basically, there was a fan group in Korea, and they took donations from international stays to, get money so that they can purchase like streaming service tickets so that they could listen to Stray Kids on various Korean things to push their numbers up in Korea so they could get more attention in the country, because they're pretty popular internationally but less popular domestically, and so that's always been a trend with them. But like there's this group that has been taking donations from international people and saying like, we're gonna stream, we're gonna push the views up, and then like once they hit like a critical mass, then they'll get a lot more attention from local people. Like that's just kind of how it works. Like it'll just push it up the list so that people who wouldn't ordinarily look out for it will see it. And it had never really like manifested in them getting a bunch of awards or getting a bunch of attention or whatever. But like people still donated and they just kind of shrugged it off. And then like they just had a bunch of drama come out where it's like, oh, actually they like took all that money and then just bought stuff for themselves.
Oh.
Yeah. So I don't know how accurate all of that is and what will finally come out, because even like the initial acknowledgement of there being an issue was like removed from Twitter. So we'll and then they were like, we're gonna look back more into this and then we'll update with like more direct information, and that's how they've left it last I saw. So yeah, maybe we'll talk a little bit about that drama, because that doesn't really involve the members so much, although I mean it certainly could involve the group, because here are the international fans like literally trying to put money and time and effort in to help them with their popularity in Korea, and the group that was supposed to be helping them just wasn't doing it. So it's a little messed up, and it could have been affecting. But like, you can't, as much as I agree with people who feel that way, and I'm like, okay, well, they definitely shouldn't have taken all these people's money and then not done what they said. It's like, well, JYP, bears a responsibility for, marketing them in Korea. So, but maybe they feel like because they have such good international attention, they don't have to. But I don't know. We'll see. That's way far off from where we are, because currently we're on episode 4 of The Survival Show, and we just watched it. So I got a couple notes here.
Sure. Lay on me.
And let's
before we jump into that, actually, do we want to follow up on any questions, like Tom's question corner? I don't know if we had. The only thing that I can think of was like a further dive into the usage of D-Day, right? Like you had brought up. Well, I guess this is going to be more of Phil's question corner at this point, right? Because why exactly, other than just they're using it correctly, they're using D-Day correctly, but why? But why are they using it at all instead of just saying, debut day or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, that's just something that we're gonna have to look into and get those answers to the fans of this podcast that need to know.
Right, yeah. They definitely need to know, and I want to be able to help them learn. So, I mean, we'll figure it out someday, maybe. But
I was checking the email the other day, and there were 47 requests for that answer.
Well, we better get on that, I guess. we should probably get on that.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's. Yeah, I don't know any questions that we had last week, and we can just roll on because I don't know. The closest I came up with, and maybe we'll do this. This is the correction that is most needed before we begin talking about this episode, which was excellent. And that is, I mentioned that we had a review on iTunes and that I would make sure that I knew the correct pronunciations and that I would do it. And I did look them up before we started recording today.
Okay.
So I will read our first and only review for you now.
Tell me.
I will cross my fingers if my phone will respond. I will cross my fingers and hope that I get the pronunciation correct and remember from an hour ago when I looked it up what it actually is. Okay. If I can get the thing to load. Come on.
I'm looking forward to this, and I believe everyone else that's listening is as well.
Yeah. Here we go. Here is our first ever review from May 13th, 2021. These trainees are so funny. I stan them. Phil is the Eggyo of the group. I know it says they'll make a stay out of me, but really they've made me a Sasang. Don't listen to the aunties. So there you go. That's the whole 5 stars.
Who was this?
Kevin. That's Kevin. So we've repeatedly brought up Kevin on like every episode.
Yeah. I thought that it was Kevin, but
yeah.
Why? What is okay, so here's going to be the Tom's question corner of this episode.
Yeah.
Explain to me every single reference in that review, please.
Oh, well, you know what trainees are, because that's
sure
people who train before they become before they debut. Eggyo is like a certain like cute affectation.
The yellow part inside of an egg.
It's funny is that like when I tried to look up the pronunciation, it was literally like people saying like, I don't know, it's kind of like egg yolk. Like Eggyo. It's AEGYO. Eggyo.
Okay. Not a Hego.
So I guess I'm the cute member. And usually when you see somebody being Eggyo, they like do a high pitched voice that's cute and stuff, and they'll like put both their hands on their chin, you know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Your voice typically is higher than mine, but mine can get up there, you know, if I try.
Get up there. Yeah. Oh, it's like Tom. Yeah. Well, what are you gonna do? And then Sasang is it just means
sausage.
like a person who is interested in like, you know, Korean culture or movies or whatever. It's like you're a fan of things
like a weeb, but
like
for Korea.
Like a weeb, but for Korea. Okay, fair. All right. What do they call it? Oh, man, I don't remember. I'm now trying to remember what it is for people who like British TV. There's like another term for it.
Sausage.
There's sausage. We got Sasang.
I don't think that's it.
It's sausage now. There's no turning back.
Yeah.
You know, so I am subscribed to BritBox on Amazon Prime so that I can watch Whodunit Mysteries while I'm falling asleep. So I'm a sausage. I guess you could say I'm a pretty big sausage.
I just say that because I watched what is that movie about the alien, and it's got Simon Pegg and Nick Frost in it, and they're like, and I forget who the alien is voiced by, but
oh man, is it by Seth Rogen?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Seth Rogen comes to mind when I think about it. Yeah. But the reason that I say sausage like that is because they say that in the movie. Like, I think like Simon Pegg's character is like trying to wake up Nick Frost or like get him to do something. And he's like, come on, sausage.
Come on, sausage. Yeah, that's funny. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I'm a sausage. That's all I can say about it. I'm a sausage. Yeah. And Kevin is apparently a Sasang, and he loves that I'm Eggyo. So there we go.
I don't believe him, but I'll take it.
Well, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I wouldn't believe him either. It basically looks like he just like Googled what are K-pop words and then just slapped them into a review. That's okay.
Very poser of you, Kevin.
No, it's not. Look, if there's one thing I know about Kevin is that he is not a poser. Because if he likes something, or if he doesn't like something that I show him, which is often, he will tell me. He won't just fake it to try and be the cool kid and like get along and be like, yeah, no, I like the same things as you. So there's one thing he is not. It's a poser, but he is somebody who will make jokes at my expense. So that's more.
What a sausage.
What a sausage. Yeah, total sausage. He's the total sausage package, really.
Yeah. Let's get into this episode.
I guess yeah. Let's get into the episode. Why not?
Enough about Kevin. He's not even part of this. Okay, move on.
He's not a part of this. Maybe we'll have him on someday. We'll have him on as like a guest, and he'll be like, "So this podcast is really about me, huh?"
I mean, we've talked about him. This is episode 5 of the podcast now, right? Or 5. We've talked about him. I want to say at least 3 of these 5.
3 episodes at least. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And he's not listening anymore unless I ask him to directly.
Right,
if I'm like, okay, at the first 5 minutes of the episode, we talk about you. You should listen to it. You might listen to that part, but that's it.
All right. Well, Kevin, this is your cue to stop listening if you even were.
Kevin, you can go now.
Bye.
All right. So the episode starts and they have been working on their individual performances because they split into 3 groups of 3 to try and have the members who did better help the ones who did worse perform well and improve in groups of 3. So they all gather up for a nice cold Coca-Cola, sponsored by Coca-Cola, and they really enjoy this moment of Coke. You know what? I don't typically drink soda anymore at all, but I feel like maybe I should have a Coke while I'm having it. Is the advertising working?
You know what? I'll tell you what. Let's take a brief moment to give thanks to our sponsor, who's not sponsoring us, but they could. Shiner Bock, which I will now indulge in right now.
Shiner Bock from Shiner, Texas. Delicious.
Oh, I love Shiner Bock.
Did I tell you that I tried the Topo Chico put out like a series of like hard water, the hard sparkling water.
Oh yeah. You didn't tell me this, but that's interesting.
So we bought like a 12-pack, and it came with like 3 of 3 different flavors, or of 4 different flavors. Yeah. And I tried all of them, and I liked, I think, the pineapple one. They had one that was pineapple, and I thought that one was pretty good. They had one that was like strawberry and something, strawberry pomegranate or strawberry something. I don't know. Strawberry passion fruit. It was awful. It was like one of the worst things I've ever tasted. And I'm just like, why would you do this? Who would do this? No, it tasted bad. And I feel like somebody at the company should have tasted it before they put it out. Like, apparently they didn't. I mean, Jeanette drank it anyway because she's a champ and she'll just be like, I mean, we have it, so I might as well. But I
mean, I don't know. Maybe they did, and they were like really big fans of La Croix, so it got through.
Maybe they just like bad flavor. That's possible. People have things flavored with lavender, and that tastes like dirt. So maybe that's just like there's a category of people who are like, man, I love the taste of dirt.
Do you know about my hatred of lavender things these days? Have you heard this story?
What?
Okay, well, Megan, right?
Yeah.
Well, sorry, I started this story too soon. Okay. So before this event occurred, before this D-Day, right?
D-Day.
I
had
like weeks, if not months. Because I went to the store and I needed a body wash, and I found this one that was lavender scented, which is fine. It's a good scent, and that's what I was using for like forever. And then Megan and I went to this macaroon store.
Macaron.
Is it Macron?
Macron. A macaroon is a coconut biscuit.
Right.
A macaron is the little sandwich.
Right. Okay. So the sandwich shop, slash whatever bakery, whatever it was, it had macarons, and so we got like a few different flavors, and I got lavender because I was like, oh, I like lavender. I have lavender body wash. I love the smell. So thinking like, oh yeah, I'll love the taste too. But when I bit into it, naturally, what I should have expected to happen was I went, this tastes like soap because my brain is used to like associating it with soap. And I'm like, this is disgusting. And I refuse to do anything with lavender from that moment on.
Wow. That's great. Oh, man.
Because it's soap.
That's wonderful. It tastes like soap. It tastes like dirt. I had once at work. I tried lavender water. It was like lavender flavored water because
I don't I don't like that at all.
Yeah, I just thought like I don't know, like it's a thing that exists. Maybe people like it, and then I like literally took one sip and I was like, this is disgusting, and that's what made me go like, oh, it tastes like dirt to me. Like it just like flowers grow in dirt. Therefore, dirt makes sense. So I'll never eat like lavender is an okay scent because it's a flower and it should smell like a thing. It should not taste like a thing. I will never do it again. I won't be tricked into having lavender macarons. I'm not having I'm not having lavender ice cream. I'm not having lavender anything. No lavender. And look, that brings us to Stray Kids.
The title of this podcast is I'll Make a Stay Out of You, but what it really should be called is I'll Make You Stray Away from Lavender Things.
Yes, stay away from lavender.
Stay away. Disgusting. Stray away.
Stray away.
Just
don't
avoid at all costs lavender anything.
It's so bad. Anyway.
Just get rid of it. If your favorite flower is the lavender,
that's fine. I'm okay with it.
I was going to be mean, but yeah, that's fine.
Oh man,
pick a real flower, like a tulip.
Yeah. A tulip, yeah. Why not? Okay, so we've
Jimmy
gotten to the
Tedeschi.
first line. So they gathered for a Coke. Delicious, and then
yeah.
And then they decide to hold a self-evaluation. It's the day before they're going to perform for JYP. So I'm like, the show doesn't show us, but the show insinuates and like tells you that this is the first time they've all gathered to show each other's thing they've been working on. And I'm like, you waited till the last day possible because if somebody was doing horrible, then like they needed that criticism 2 weeks ago.
Well, like, I feel like they would have like at least Chan would have like trusted the other guys, to help the guys that were in need.
May have been the problem. I mean, that's when you look at what happens in the episode, like maybe that was the problem. Maybe that was the problem.
But I gotta say, I mean, I get what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they should have done it sooner, but maybe they're just on such a time crunch that
totally
it didn't make sense to do that, right? But Chan is very critical in this moment, right? He is no nonsense, right? Like, let's stop joking around. We have to take this seriously, even though it's just us right now. You have to like pretend like JYP is here, right. and not mess around.
Yeah.
And it maybe it can come off as harsh, but I mean he's not wrong, Yeah. And I don't think he did it in a malicious way.
He tells them he does tell them to be more serious, but like it starts with like Changbin was just like joking around a little bit, like he made like one joke, and that's when Chan first was like, we got to take this more seriously. Like it needs to be more serious. We need to treat it like it's real. That was like the first moment. And so, him telling that to Changbin, is a big deal. Like Changbin's like one of the members of 3RACHA, right? Like we're not talking about just one of the other members. Like this is like a close personal friend of his who like they've been doing rap for a long time together. So he was even critical to some of his closest friends in the group. So, he tells them all to be more serious. Chan's group goes first, and nobody has a lot of criticism for them. They think that the dancing and everything is really clean and that they've clearly worked really hard on it. And they have. I believe that. They move on to Minho, and he's Minho himself, like in his group, he's nervous. He's making little mistakes with his rap and his singing and his dance and like everything. He feels like nervous and burdened because he's a member like up for elimination. And actually, I feel like this is the best possible time to fit this in. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep pushing it back. So here we go. Last week we had an hour and like 20-minute long episode, but who knows what we're going to do this week. I got to pull up the post because I wanted to get like everybody's date, like when they joined JYP. So let me pull them all up.
Yeah, I mean, look, last week's episode was pretty long, and I think most of that had to do with the fact that we can't stay on topic to save our lives.
Yeah.
And we're 30 minutes into this episode already, and we've only just now gotten to the first 2 minutes of the episode. Yeah. So I think we're on track for a really tight, well made episode.
It's gonna be tight. It's gonna be tight as hell. So yeah, but I was thinking about that because I'm just trying to think of the exact date. Okay, I'm still pull this stuff up. Last week I was like listening to the episode as I edited it and everything, and I realized that like, were we tired? Were we like really tired? Because like it's not like we weren't focused or talkative or anything, but like, you know, there's that like moment when you're like tired and then you kind of go past it and things get a little loopy and weird, because I felt like it was a loopy and weird episode and that we were being loopy and weird throughout the whole thing. I was like, what is going on here? Like I don't know.
Well, you like, since I don't understand, you're not that like, you're 1 hour behind me, right? So but you know, you've got to put your kids to sleep and do all this stuff. So yeah, usually when we get started is like when I should realistically be going to bed. Now today's different because I have tomorrow off, so it's like no big deal. But yeah, like typically we're starting now. Not that I would be going to bed at that time, because I hate myself, I guess, because I don't ever give myself the number of hours of sleep that I should have. But yeah, so like I'm pretty sure we've started, at least I have started every episode tired. So yeah. But for you, I mean, you have kids, so aren't you always tired?
Kids. Yeah, I have kids, and sometimes we don't sleep because kids do that to you. Which is fine, you know.
Great kids, but tiring.
I will tell you that today, here's our secret. Today, we took them over to their grandparents' house, and we played and had some fun or whatever. And then we drove the kids home, and rather than going straight home, we took like the longest possible way to get home, and then we drove around our town for an additional like 5 minutes to make sure they both fell asleep in the car. And so when we got home, I was just like, took off Logan's shoes and then just put him in bed, and I was like, see ya. Like, I'm done. Yeah,
nice.
It's not often, he doesn't fall asleep in the car very often, but he seemed really tired today, and so I knew he would do it. So here we go. Part of this, I'm like, I was only gonna, so my plan here for what we're gonna do to kind of understand better like where the members are at when they start the show is, I wanted to kind of talk about like, when did they join JYP. But there's this one clip that I feel like we must watch, like we have to watch it.
Okay.
Because it's so funny, and it's let's see. So we'll start with we'll go in a timeline here, because in 2010, Bang Chan at 13 auditioned in Australia, and JYP liked him so much they went to his house for his second auditions, and out of 800 people, he was the only one who passed. And
wow.
Yeah, so 2011 was when he actually arrived in Korea. So he's been in Korea since 2011, working with JYP.
When did this? Yeah. Oh, so I guess this starts around like 2018.
He was 13 when he was in 2010, and so he was 14 when he got, or he could have been 14. I don't know the exact date of when he got to Korea, but he potentially could have been 14 by the time he actually left home from Australia and went and moved into the dorms. So he's been there for a long time by this point.
And when is this show being made? 2018?
2017.
2017. Okay. All right. Gotcha.
So in 2013, there's a hilarious clip of Minho, who we just, saw in this episode. He was.
Why'd you say it like that?
Because he got eliminated.
Spoilers.
Jeez. What did I do? What did I do? Anyway, so there's a clip from National Geographic, where they did this thing on they did a special on K-pop in 2013, and Minho is in it, practicing dance outside of some agency, and it's really funny. So I don't know. I'm like, should we watch it right now? I don't know. It was before the survival show. There's no reason.
It feels mean now because he's gone.
All right, you're right. Okay, so 2015, Jisung joins JYP at 15, and in Jongin auditioned in 2015, but he did not join yet. Hyunjin was scouted by SM and JYP at a middle school talent show and chose JYP.
Wow.
Changbin auditioned for a different academy, so it's really just not helpful for our purposes. Oh, this is interesting though. At the last event in 2015 was Minho was cast for a dance competition but failed his auditions. So
so he's got a history of failure.
He's got a history of failure. In 2016, Minho toured with BTS as a backup dancer, which we knew about.
Right.
That
Hold
was
on.
when.
I have to interject really quick before any stays get upset at me for making fun of Minho. I'm sorry. I liked Minho. I'm sad that he was eliminated. But he was.
Well, yeah.
So.
Right. Well, just wait till the next episode, because the next episode is when they get to enjoy the fallout of it, and it's like,
right.
Whoo, man. I mean, we got a little bit of it in the preview of how devastated everyone is because they all wanted to go with 9 members, and they've already lost 1. And the reality, the survival show's not over. So,
right.
In 2016, Woojin, that's when he moved from SM Entertainment to JYP. And also Felix was cast in Australia, but he stayed behind to finish his studies. So he was already cast by them. But so I mean, the timeline is so crazy, right? Because then it's 2017, and some of the members are not in Korea, have not been cast, have not been okay. So, Felix arrived at JYP in February of 2017, same year they're producing the show. So that's how little time he has been practicing and anything. Sungmin auditioned and joined JYP. Minho was contacted by JYP and was brought in as a trainee. And what happened to Jongin? It just says that he auditioned in 2015, but there are several members, Felix, Minho, and Sungmin. All 3 of them only made it there in the same year as the survival show, which is crazy to me. It's just crazy. Yeah. And so when JYP in those early episodes was talking about it and saying some of these members are inexperienced he meant it. He meant that like they kind of expect people to go through like 2 years of training at JYP before they debut, and many of these members have been there for like 1 to 0 years. So it's not that surprising when he's like, yeah, you seem not experienced, like you seem amateurish or whatever, like, because they are. Like they haven't been there since they were 13 like Chan has. So it's pretty crazy. Anyway, that seemed like a good place to fit that in. I had talked about it roughly, or I don't even know if I said it out loud. I was just like, there's a thing, I'll do it on a different episode. I think that's as far as I went with wanting to show when they all got to JYP. But yeah, so Minho is worried. He's worried at this point. He wants to try harder. Changbin is helping him with his actual rapping skills and trying to get the like pronunciation on the rhythm and stuff. Which, you know, is okay. We move to Jonghyun's team, and they're doing School Life, which I love. It's a song that I absolutely love. And they start doing a mic test, but Jonghyun isn't testing his mic, and it's just they're kind of goofing off a little bit, you know, because they're relaxed, they're around all the members, and they have a sillier song, and so like the tone of it is silly, and so they feel silly getting started with it, and they keep cutting to Chan, and he's just like more and more worried, staring at the floor and trying to tell them like, be serious, and they do their performance, and at the very end of it, Jisung is kind of plopped on the floor and just breathing heavily, and Chan's really disappointed in their behavior and how lacking of seriousness they took it. And he's worried. He's starting to really worry. And you know, the problem with this, you know, it's so crazy because the problem in the first one was like Chan was trying to fix everybody and make sure everybody was on it, and so he didn't get to work on himself. And in this one, he can't possibly help everybody because he's in his own group. He can't help the other groups other than this one time to criticize them. So it's not easy. So on D-Day, it cuts from like the end of their self-assessment to D-Day, and they're all in like the green room, and everybody's frantically practicing, trying to do every last minute thing. We see Minho go out in the hallway, and he's practicing in front of just random people in the hallway there, and singing and rapping and trying to get it all right. He's clearly putting in the effort, which makes the rest of the episode so frustrating. So they tell us that I wrote down here that like this part was live because it says like live in the top corner, and then as we were watching it, I was like, there's clearly edits, so it can't possibly be live, which made me think that when it says live, it means like it's a premiere. It's like the first time it's been shown, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right, fair enough, I guess. Like, I don't know, I just thought that was weird, and I was like, they did this live. Could you make it any worse for them? JYP comes out and he gives them a spiel quickly, like while they're all standing up there, and tells them that he likes what they've done so far, and he likes that they're a group that have come together, but now that they're going to debut, while he hadn't interfered in the past, now they must meet the company's standards or be eliminated. And that's basically like what he lays out right at the beginning of this part. So the first team is Chan's team. They do the one about the bus. There's a sign in the back that just says bus. And it was interesting. And I like, this is like a feature that you'll see often in these type of shows where, they kind of jump back once they like are about to start their performance to talk about like how they came up with the song and like what they kind of thought about while writing the lyrics and performance. And they all rode the same bus, a 4419. Some of them, like Hyunjin, he was still living at home, right? So his deal was that he would ride at home, and so it was just the end of his day. But Chan, who lived in the dorms, like his memory of it was going with Bam Bam from GOT7 on outings. Like that was how they left to go and do interesting things, because they were living at the dorms right by JYP. So, you know, that was an exploration for them. It wasn't just every day. So it was just really interesting to see kind of like their different thoughts about it reflected in the lyrics. And it's a good song. I think it's a great song. And JYP thought so too.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, what did you think? Tell me about it.
Well, I mean, I just like the whole idea of the song in general, right? Like you're saying, how they kind of they took pieces of the memories that each of them have concerning this one specific thing. You know, which is it's a nice sentiment. It's a nice little story to tell. Yeah, I mean, the most entertaining part for me was, like you said, there was this sign in the back. Like there's a bus on stage, like a stage bus, not an actual bus, right, but there's like this stage bus on the stage, and there's a sign that says bus in the back. And JYP's like, is that a bus? And I'm like, yeah, it's a bus. It says bus.
Can you read, JYP? What are you doing? How did you get in charge of this company?
But yeah, no, I enjoyed it.
Oh, it's great. So he says the song, JYP says the song is good, and it felt like he could see a piece of their souls in it. Like he got to peer into their like emotion. And he praised Seungmin being a great singer for having a good tone in the middle range that was like audible, because it's difficult to have that. And so he thought he was a great singer, and like he is. So yeah.
Right.
And he loved that Chan actually corrected everything. He thought that he was seeing the Chan that he's used to seeing, and Chan was happy with that. He didn't get criticism at all. When looking at Hyunjin, he said that he couldn't believe that it's the same person that he criticized for his pronunciation, and it was like very clear that he had worked really hard, because he couldn't tell or couldn't have anywhere near that same criticism. And like JYP in general, like what he typically looks for is improvement. Not perfect, just improvement.
Yeah.
And
which there was, for sure. And he won't know, I mean, unless he goes and watches, but I don't know why he would, because he can see it, right? But we know that you know, he did work hard at it. Like he was really putting in the time and the effort to get that fixed. So obviously it paid off for him, right?
Yeah, he did great. It was really good. I mean, it was pretty flawless performance. And you know, you do have to wonder a little bit if that was influenced by who was in the group, right? Because you have Seungmin, and Seungmin's not been there for that long, but he's a great singer. But like Chan, if you have Chan backing you up, like he's going to be honest about his criticism, and he's going to help you correct, because he's been in training since he's 13. So if there's anyone that you want on your side when practicing like that, it's him. Like he's going to know what the experts who train people are going to say to help you improve. So you don't even have to go to a trainee class. You can just go to Chan and he'll be like, oh, here's your problem. Like he knows everything. So yeah, it's great. Man. Okay. Next up is Team Minho. The song is called Glow, because it's all about like how like in the dark, because it's Changbin and he loves dark, that they could glow. They could glow. They wrote the lyrics together rather than letting Changbin Changbin wanted them to write the lyrics together, because he didn't want just his influence. He wanted to incorporate their ideas. So pretty good. Minho is a special case because he very clearly put in a lot of effort.
Yeah.
A lot of effort. but that effort did not secure him the confidence that he needed to perform.
Right.
Like, that's really his biggest problem, because like, yeah. And he even says that like he lost all confidence. And it's like when he was picked as like, sorry, bro, you're not good enough to join. You're in danger of being eliminated in the first round. He just couldn't move past that feeling to be able to work hard enough to not be criticized. Yeah, he wasn't. I wrote down that he was not resting. Like he was like working constantly.
Yeah.
Then they did their performance, and during the performance, Minho made a mistake and he forgot some lyrics or said the wrong lyrics. And then he continued on, but his nerves were like shot after he made that mistake, and then it affected his pitch. They move on to the criticism portion. Oh, what did you think about the song generally? I guess so. Let's get your take on it.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was good. I enjoyed the song not as much as the other two, but it was still good. And yeah, obviously, I mean, I've been in. I don't know if you've done any live performances, but I've done live performances before. Because I played trumpet in concert and concert and marching band, and yeah. There are times when you make mistakes, but the single most important factor in doing a live performance well is that if you make a mistake, you pretend like it didn't happen and just keep going, you know?
Yeah.
And so I've been in that situation where like, I remember like the criticism that I got from my band director, after one performance was good, because what like he heard, I don't know, you know, like he's a genius when it comes to music, and heard me play this one note incorrectly, and we like, I looked up, he looked at me, we locked eyes for a second, and then I looked back down at my music, and that was it, right? And I just kept going. I powered through it, right? Like and that's what you have to do. So unfortunately, Minho did not.
He did not do that.
He didn't
have the confidence going in,
right?
And then couldn't. As soon as he made one mistake, he just couldn't continue. Like he went through the rest of everything. His dance looked great, which makes sense. He was primarily a dancer. I mean, like that's his part in the group, but that's not what he was being judged on. He's got to be able to do everything else, because you can't just dance. Like you're gonna sing a part here and there. So. It was rough, and JYP saw that. And you know, the specific phrasing that they had when they were discussing what happened was that JYP was like, did you forget the lyrics? And his answer was that no, he just was thinking of Changbin's part, which was coming up after. And it's just like, because it's not that he didn't put effort in, and that's what sucks about like this whole procedure is like he worked so hard that he like memorized everyone's parts, and so his mind was just running like crazy because he was worried about being eliminated, and he just like started saying the wrong words even though he'd practiced so hard, and it wasn't enough. So crazy. They move on to Changbin, and he got praised for everything, and JYP was basically like, you could debut now. I can't make any corrections.
Changbin got the best criticism out of anyone, which was, you're perfect.
And he is pretty great.
That reminds me of that like that Tom Segura part of his stand-up where he's like, I went to the doctor, and like, I wasn't expecting him to be like, you're not gonna believe this, but you're perfect. You're the perfect human specimen, you know. But he was like rude about it. But no, Changbin got that from JYP. JYP said, you're not gonna believe this, but you're perfect. Moving on.
Well, Felix got they moved on to Felix, and JYP just goes, hey Felix, why don't you have any confidence?
And like I was dying. Oh, that shit was funny.
His first language is English, and he still has trouble with Korean, and so like I have to wonder in that moment, like, what is he thinking? What does he think he heard? Does he know that he heard? Because like JYP like says it with a smile on his face. He's like, so why don't you have any confidence? And he has a smile on his face. And if I'm Felix and I'm like, I only understood half that, I'd be like, what? It's so crazy.
I would just be like, yeah. That would be my response, right?
Yeah. So
yes.
Yes. He did sing. Felix sang, and it was really good. And JYP was surprised, even though he didn't seem confident in his parts. His actual singing was good. So he should have been more confident. In fact, when they played the clip of him singing again, they actually cut to the reaction from Chan, who said "debak,"
which means
awesome.
Wow. Oh,
yeah, basically wow. I mean, like, yeah, you can, pretty great.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it was fair criticism, I think, because it was good, but it was, like, I think this goes back to one of the earliest criticisms that JYP had for the group as a whole, which was that when it is your turn, you have to make it yours. You have to make the audience look at you,
Oh yeah.
And so the whole confidence thing, unless it is like relevant to the song to not have confidence, which maybe
right. I'm sure there might be occasions where that would be necessary. Yeah,
you need to be belting. You need to be showboating.
Yeah, show those boats, baby. So that the next part is actually getting to JYP's criticism of Minho because he went last, and the thing that stuck in my head was, you didn't get that much better.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, because he said your singing improved, but it didn't get as much better as I thought it would. And I was like, oh no, that's not good. He made a mistake with the lyrics, and then he got told, well, you didn't get very much better. And I'm going, oh no, I've seen this. I know what happens, and I still am like dreading this moment. I'm like, oh no, don't do this to me, JYP. Just go hang out with Conan O'Brien again. Just be happy.
Is that a thing that happened?
Oh yeah. I totally had thought that we should do this. That we should like. So JYP's a pop star, and so he has a lot of songs, and so I thought it might be interesting. I mean, obviously we got like his like robot, I know every note from listening one time thing, but like it might be interesting just to see like, what his music sounds like. And he did Conan O'Brien was doing this thing for his show where he was like going to different countries, and one of the things he did was go to South Korea, and he was with Steven Yeun from The Walking Dead, and they decided to like become K-pop stars, and they worked with JYP to do it. And so like JYP like wrote a song for them and brought in like girls from Twice and girls from Wonder Girls or Miss A, I don't remember which one. So they had like a bunch of like actual pop stars from the company come in, and it's like JYP's song. He's the lead in it, and it's a hilarious music video where they like slowly turn Conan O'Brien and Steven Yeun into K-pop stars. It's really funny. It's great. If there's anything we should do, like maybe at the end of this episode, last thing we're gonna do before we call it and we say goodbye is I'll send you the link for that. And maybe the Minho video, but definitely that, which is because it helps like establish like what kind of music does he make, like what is that, and it's funny. It's so funny. Okay, anyway, let's see, where am I? They got their criticism, and then they go back and they're standing by the other members, and Minho is super distraught, and you can tell like he's like mega distraught.
Yes.
And they cut to like an interview with Changbin, and what stood out to me with that one was he said did I take care of the other members and not just me? Like, he's like thinking about it to himself, like, because he clearly got these like great, awesome feedback, but like his job was to make the other members better. And so as a leader in that group of 3, like, did he do enough to help Minho, and did he do enough to help Felix? And it's just it's got to be difficult to, like, they're all adults in a way, except for Jung-in, but that's in a different group. And they're all working towards the same goal, and they should be able to, have the same kind of effort put in. But like, clearly Minho has not been there as long as the rest of them, or at least not as long as Changbin. And so I don't know, like, maybe there is something to that like, yeah, like maybe the criticism and the feedback that Changbin gave Minho was not good enough because he was too busy focusing on himself. And yeah, I don't know that we'll ever see the answer to that, nor do I know if he's ever answered it in a Q&A or anything. But like, it is an interesting question. Like, that was his job. Like, I know that if Chan had Hyunjin eliminated, he'd blame himself. That's what he would do. He'd blame himself. Right. It was his job to make sure he didn't get eliminated, and he did. So, yeah, I don't know. That's interesting. They while they're there, Minho starts crying to himself, and Changbin tries to like hold his hand and tell him to like shake it off, and he's like, "Why are you crying?" And Minho's like, "It's sweat."
And Changbin has the best facial expression in response to that, but it's still sad.
It's really sad. And he's, there's some really like minor body language things where like when he tries to like hold Minho's hand, like Minho's won't take his hand, like he won't take it, and he's just like trying not to like fall apart on the side of the stage, really, because he feels what's coming. Yeah. And Changbin's even trying to be like, it doesn't mean anything, like it doesn't mean you're eliminated yet, like we'll keep going, like, yeah. Minho, when interviewed, says that he just feels like ultimately what it came down to was just having a complete lack of experience in performing, which, is probably true, at least in singing. Like, you could see that his dance was tight. His dance was good. It didn't get criticized. It wasn't like, you were a total mess, you couldn't even move. No, his dance was fine, but he couldn't do the singing, and he forgot his lines in rap, so it's a problem. Yeah. So they move on to Jung-in's turn, and I don't know how you follow up that performance with that kind of criticism with any form of confidence, but here they go. Jung-in starts, they introduce their song School Life, and then they kind of like cut to them working on the song, and they get this like interview with Jung-in, which like haunts me to this day about him in the show, of like, we watch the first 3 episodes, he's smiling, and no matter what's happening, he's got a smile on his face. He's always smiling in front of people. And then like the person interviewing, doing the producing of that little like confessional, is just like, "Are you lacking confidence?" And then he just like smiles and says, "Yes." And then he puts his face down, and you see his like smile break for like the first time, and he's just crying and talking about how like he wants to do this so bad for the other members and not to hold them back, that like he feels like he can't show them how hard it is for him. He has to slap a smile on and just push forward no matter what. And it is rough, like, because you've spent now 3 episodes with him, watching him, and you see it in every episode, and yet here he is, like, distraught to the 10th, to the 9th. It's crazy. Jisung seems to know. He seems to know that that's the kind of person that Jung-in is, that like, he's a person that Jisung wants to protect, and he knows that he has like really deep thoughts that he doesn't share. He's very insightful. He said that he doesn't want them to see he's tired. Yeah. Yeah, it's hard. So then they do School Life. So what did you think of School Life?
I loved it. I love School Life.
It's so good. It's definitely my favorite of these performances. Yeah. I think School Life is the best.
It's so bouncy and fun, and when Woojin, I feel like Woojin is kind of like smirking a lot of the time, but I feel like he really was like shining in this one because he's just like dancing around and just goofing around. I mean, they all are, but Woojin stood out especially to me for that. So
yeah, not just to you. we'll get to that, but yeah, I agree. I think he did a great job singing. I felt like that it was well put together. School Life was just a good song. It was like a fun song. I really enjoyed it. JYP was even clapping at the end. He thought the song was good. So then he starts his criticism, and then he like goes to Jisung and he's like, Jisung, yeah, you know, a lot of your stuff was good, but like, you didn't seem special.
Yeah.
You didn't seem special? Rude. JYP, be nicer. What's wrong with you, man?
Yeah. What does that mean? How do I change that?
Yeah, really. It's crazy. Let's see.
Yeah, imagine being told like, yeah, you did well, but like you're not special. So
yeah, you're not special. And then he immediately, this could have been a jump cut, right? Like he could have said more, but the way that the show portrays it, it's like he immediately goes like, yeah, you weren't special. Anyway, Woojin, you were special.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. What? Why are you doing this, JYP? And like maybe he's trying to make it feel rivalrous, and maybe that will inspire people to do better or whatever. But like
try harder.
Yeah, I don't know. He said that Woojin stood out and was excellent in this song, and I agree. I mean, like you said, like he did well.
Yeah.
Then we get to the Jongin segment, and honestly, like watching the performance, I was like, yes, Jongin did it. He pulled through. It was perfect. Yeah. He was wonderful. Yeah. It sounded good. Which is the difference between me being a layman who just enjoys the music and JYP being the producer, I guess. And
only seeing it from like the televised perspective. And
I suppose that's true.
Where JYP is in this, you know?
Right. So. Oh, and also like I have an emotional investment in him doing well because of the crying scene earlier where he's just doing his best. He's just doing his best.
Just give him a chance.
Just give him a chance. Yeah. JYP said his voice was stuffy and his dance was stuffy too.
Yeah, I didn't feel that at all. But
it was a regretful performance. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah. And then the next thing that happened is they eliminated Minho. They told him that he was eliminated from the group. And they
bye.
Yeah, bye Minho. We miss you. So he was eliminated from the group, and we only get to see the reactions of the members for like a split second when they do the preview for the next episode, because of course they're gonna like be like, yeah, this person was eliminated. Want to find out how people felt about that? They probably felt sad. See you next time. And that's it. Like we get cut off right at the end there, and that's the end of the episode. And contrary to what we thought earlier, we actually haven't gone like an hour and 40 minutes. So, but this was a jam-packed episode. Like it was like front to back. Like they had 3 performances, and so they had to just slap that shit in. You know,
yeah.
We can cuss now because I made the podcast explicit.
Oh yeah. So if anyone's been listening, right, since the beginning, right, I think it's the first 2 episodes. So this is the midway point of us making this decision, right? Yeah. The first 2 episodes, we don't really know. I mean, we still don't know what we're doing. This is our first podcast, okay? Just bear with us, right? But I believe that before we even got started in this, I asked you if there were any rules. Right? I asked you this. And you said, no, I don't think so. And what I was really getting at there is, can I swear? And in the first 2 episodes, we do.
Yeah.
And then in the 3rd episode, we start it with you saying, no, we're not going to swear. Because we haven't so far, and so we won't to keep our demographic.
Yep. And then here we are on episode at the end of it.
Episode fuck.
episode fuck. Here's what happened. This is literally what happened. Is that like as you mentioned early on, I had made a mistake with the intro editing, where the edit got weird. It got moved around, but the intro didn't follow things being moved. So I just had to correct it really quick and then re-upload it so that the intro was right. But after that, I had to listen to it to just make sure it sounded right. And, my thought process had been like, it's fine if we are, in the heat of the moment, that's just how we talk when we're just talking to each other, right? Like, we're going to drop cuss words. We're going to just throw them in. There's going to be some shits. There's going to be some fucks. Like, it's just going to happen.
That's just our vocabulary.
I'll just bleep it or cut it out as I listen to it. But also, what I've realized after listening to the last episode for the last time is that it's so natural to us when we're talking that even when I was listening to it back while editing, I just didn't hear it. I just didn't pick it out. So while I was doing the editing, I just didn't find the fucks. And I decided, you know what? I don't give any fucks either. Yeah. So here we are. We're an explicit podcast now. We're going to say fuck all the time. Probably not. I mean, we haven't really, no, I'm going to say this. I'm going to jinx myself so hard. I was going to say, I don't even think we've cussed that much in this episode. I know now. When we go back and when I'm doing the edit, it's gonna be so many.
Yeah. Well, no, I think you're right though. We haven't really sworn. Well, other than the past 2 minutes.
Yeah, right. I kind of had wondered if when we explain that we're now an explicit podcast because I couldn't handle it. I just we just can't. I thought we might talk about it at the very beginning, but we were so busy with Wolfgang that it just didn't come up.
Yeah.
And then I thought we'll just get all the cusses out and then we'll kind of naturally not cuss as much, I think. But I don't think so anymore. I think yeah, it's going to be it's not going to be a problem because we're going to deal with it in our own way.
Yeah, this isn't a cussing podcast, but we're not afraid of it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And at least we don't cuss like teenagers cuss, where they're just like, I gotta fucking say fuck every fucking word, and
Tom, that's the demographic. Take it easy on the teenagers.
Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding. It's fine.
Look, teenagers, you're discovering your swear words these days. It's fun to say them, but eventually, you'll just incorporate them into your regular vocabulary, and it'll flow naturally. And that's what it should be because it's just a word. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
Other than what you attach to it.
So, yeah. Are you ready for this fire? On the fly podcasting setup here. I'm gonna pull up a Watch Together
okay YouTube
thing, and I will link it to you.
Man, you should have been working on this for the past few minutes while we've just been having the swear fest.
I like the swear fest though.
Yeah,
I was enjoying that discussion.
All right, I'm in here. It's loading, and I'm ready.
Hi, everybody. It's Phil from the future. I realized while listening to the edit that we didn't mention that we're about to listen to JYP's Fire. So if you'd like to follow along and watch that music video, go ahead and pull it up on YouTube. Thanks.
Wow.
All right. Yeah, what did you think?
That was really good. I wish that it had the lyrics, though, like the translation.
Yeah.
But
it might if we were watching it on YouTube.
Yeah, true. Fair enough.
It totally does. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Now, it's not like a good illustration of JYP's music necessarily, but it is a good description of his sense of humor because he shows up in a lot of his group's music videos and stuff and mostly just makes a fool of himself. That's a thing that he does. He'll just show up and be like, I fell over while, looking at people or whatever. I don't know. It's okay. It's pretty funny. But because I told you Jeanette and I have been playing this rhythm game on iOS, right? we still are. And so, you do different artists every week, and like JYP, of course, it's all JYP artists on this one app. So of course we are doing JYP songs also, and like some of his songs are so good. I really like that song. I think it's actually really good because of course like he can produce anything. It's fine.
Yeah.
But like he's got another one that's very like a little bit more risque.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I'm trying to remember what it's called. It's not When We Disco, which is also good. It's this one. Who's Your Mama?
Oh.
Yeah.
Who's Your Mama?
Who's Your Mama? Let me see if I can. We'll just watch 2. Why not?
Okay.
Instead of doing the Minho video, we'll just do this one.
Okay. I already closed out of the watch together thing.
Well,
though,
you have to rejoin. I think you can use the same link. Yeah.
All right. I'm coming
in.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a song about ass.
It is. It is a song about ass. It's interesting because like I don't think he's that guy. He's like playing a character. Like that's his deal. He's leaning into this character, but as with all things, there is a kernel of truth because like if you look at the girl groups he casts, they do fit that form factor. So I'm just saying, like, maybe it's not all. I mean, the whole like Playboy side of things, I think, is not fair to attribute to him. But his preferences are clear. So you know,
hey, and good for him.
Okay. Yeah, good for him. Yeah. Good for him. Good for them.
He definitely in this music video, and I don't know if he always looks like this or if it's like really emphasized, in the music video. But in this music video, he's a fit guy. He's a good looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
He fucks.
I am sure that he does, and does not talk about it.
Right.
So, that's like a thing, right? Like. K-pop stars are expected to be in a relationship with their fan base alone.
Yeah.
So, which I find odd because I'm an adult and I don't care about that side of things. Like, go ahead, like date girls, date other pop stars. I don't care. Like, it's fine. Just keep making your music and, we're good. It's fine. But yeah, I don't know. It's definitely interesting. Anyway, so that's the episode for the week. What'd you think? Did you like the episode all over?
It was a good episode. Minho being gone is sad, but I'll get over it. Had to happen.
Yeah, well, take a breath. We're going in. We're coming in hot to episode 5, which is the halfway point of the survival show. So
damn.
Yeah, I know. I keep thinking like there might be a time when you'll have to go underway, and we're just gonna have to record like a bunch of episodes ahead of time.
Right. Yeah.
And then we'll just still release them on a normal schedule. But like I'm like, oh man, like if that happens sometime, like we're gonna have to have a few of these nights, and it's gonna get fucking weird.
Yeah.
But at least we'll get through it faster. I don't know. Jeanette was like, I was talking to her the other day about like, Kingdom, obviously. And she's like, you guys should do, more than one episode at a time or more than one episode a week and just start like pumping out episodes so you can get through it and finally catch up to Kingdom. And I'm like, I totally understand that. But the last episode of Kingdom is next week. You're never going to catch up. It's never going to happen. So
here's the problem with that though is that we've done one episode now of the podcast, and we started 3 hours ago. So
that's true. Yeah, especially it wouldn't even work with my schedule. I got to take care of the kids and stuff during the day. Like unless,
we'd have to, if we did that, we'd have to cut down on a lot of chatter. We'd have to watch the episode and then immediately roll into only talking about the episode, and we'd have 30-minute episodes.
Maybe.
Which I don't know. If you're look, if you're listening to this point in the podcast, good for you.
Yeah.
And thank you for sticking
on making it to
a minute. It's a minute. Yeah, it's an hour 1 minute. Well, I'm assuming you're gonna cut out while we're watching those.
Yeah, don't tell them how many minutes, otherwise they're gonna know how much I cut. Over an hour. You've been listening for over an hour.
Yeah.
Thank you, listener. You're wonderful. Oh, I just learned. Oh no, I'm gonna extend the podcast. I learned a thing about K-pop this week.
Oh, okay. Tell me.
So, you've seen? I'm sure you know like fanfics and stuff, but that's regardless. I told you that they have the chat app where they chat to people and okay. So I noticed I started following some accounts on Twitter that like post what they reply in Bubble, and so I saw that they would start or end sentences with Y/N a few times, and I was like, I don't know what that means. Are they saying like you something? Yes, no, like
you now.
You now. It's your name. And I'm not sure if Bubble automatically inputs your name, and that's how it works. So it feels even more like personal. But
right.
Yeah, I mean it's a message to everyone, but it's Y/N, your name. So it's not even like they're saying stay blah blah blah. They do that during live streams, but in Bubble they're saying your name and then sending the message. So I just found that interesting. Anyway, I learned a thing. Cool. K-pop Sneet.
Yeah. Wow.
I learned your name. It's a thing that
I thought you said K-pop Sneet, like SNEET, and I'm like, okay, that's a word.
I learned some K-pop Sneet. K-pop Sneet.
We're gonna start you. That's the thing that we're making now. Okay,
now.
so
K-pop Sneet.
people who like British stuff, you're a sausage. If you if you have a tidbit of Korean pop music knowledge, it's called a Sneet.
Yeah, it's a K-pop Sneet.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. I'm gonna have to start. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm gonna have to keep a glossary of terms. All right. Well, thanks for coming to the episode, everybody. We don't have an ending theme song still. It's being worked on though, because I brought it up the other day, and then Anthony was immediately like, "Let me pull out my keyboard." It started working, like while we were on the phone. But I guess we'll just finish it the same way we started it. Grr, Wolfgang. Woof,
thanks for tuning in. Hope you tune in next week.
Woof, woof.
Bye-bye.
Woof, woof, bye-bye.
Woof. Oh, you wanted me to do woof, woof.